Okay, 你们好 ，Hello everyone. I took a break for 4 years, and now I think it's time to restart my explanation about the HSK standard course book, especially for the workbook part explanation. So when I go back here, start from the lesson 2. So the title here, 我每天6点起床. So for the lesson 2, the most important grammar point is 每. That means every. Normally worked with a measure word like 每天. 天, this word is quite strange because it is also a noun but a measure word. So so as you have learned for the Chinese language, we always use the measure word like most common one 个. And so if you want to say one apple, like apple, so normally we have to say 一个苹果. But for the day, this word is quite weird, quite strange because 天 it is also a measure word and a noun. So every we say 一天. Normally we don't say 一个天. So at here it's we say 每天, that means every day, but not 每个天. So pay attention to this word and 每. So the first part, so listening section, listening section. First part is listening to the sentence and right or wrong question, right? So normally the strategy is have a quick review of the questions. So first one here. Okay, so it's in the hospital, right? So we have learned the hospital, 医院, and this guy seems he's sick. So we have learned the sick this lesson. So 生病, right? 生病. And we haven't learned the nurse, but we have learned the word about doctor. It's 医生, right? So we're going to listen to the sentence. If that sentence includes this word, Matt is wrong. Matt is right. Sorry. And the picture 2. So it's like the daddy and mom, they're having their breakfast and they read the newspaper. So dad, 爸爸, and mom, mama. And for the breakfast, we haven't learned that, but we have learned 吃, right, to eat, and same that is drinking. So 喝, right, and we have learned 喝茶, drink tea, and 喝咖啡, right, coffee. And for the newspaper, we haven't learned this word, but we have learned the word to look, to watch. That is 看, right? So we're going to listen. If the sentence said 爸爸和妈妈吃早饭喝茶, that's right, right? If they haven't mentioned this action, this moment, that will be wrong. And the third one, so here is a telephone. We have learned the telephone. That is 电话, right? And for 电, that means electric, and 话, that means words. So electric words, that means you're going to talk through the telephone. And one important thing is for to make a phone call, we have to say 打电话, 打电话, 打, the word, the action we complete with our hands, right? 打. And some people think it's about like the to hit. It's also to hit, but this action, this verb for the hand complete with action have the beautiful use. Lots of the use. We will explain this later. This is not for HSK2. Okay, and the fourth one here. So this man, this guy, his name, his catch a code, right? But we haven't learned that word. So we have learned the sick or illness, right? 生病, 生病. So if we heard 他生病了, that's right, right? And the fourth and fifth one, so here's the little girl, right? I haven't learned a little girl, but she's on the bed, right? So it's something about sleep, 睡觉, right? Or get up, 起床, right? And here's a clock. I think we also haven't learned the clock, but we have learned how to represent the time, right? So I have to pay attention the time here on this clock. So it's 9 o'clock, right? So 9 o'clock, whether the PM or AM, we don't know, but we can say 9点, right? 9点, 9 means 9, and 点, and that's o'clock. So seems she feels good, right? 她觉得很不错。And one more thing here I have to emphasize is when you're going to have the HSK test, for the Chinese education, the traditional things is we're going to educate the people to have a more positive attitude. So when you're going to listen to something or answer a question, it's better you think from the positive side. Like at here, this girl she's on bed, and here's the clock. It's 9 o'clock, and she feels good. So no matter something about she sleep early and she get up early, and she think this is a good behavior, and you should do right. You should behave. So and this is benefit for your healthy, right? This is also the things we got from our text. So and here if you learn something about get up, right? Like 起床, right? 起床 and it's 9 o'clock. So 她每天 every day 她每天9点起床. She get up every 9 o'clock. That's good, right? So that will be right. And so we go to check the answer directly, and here's the teacher's lecture book. So the first sentence here said, 医生说要住1个月，现在不能出院。So 医生 doctor, right? 说 to speak. 要 so 要 at here. We have learned the two grammar function about this word. One is means you want to do something, you deserve to do something. The second thing is you have to do something. You have to. You need to, right? So 住 we learn this word as to stay, to live. 1个月 so 1 month. This is what I talked about before. So for 月 month, this is a quantity word for the time, right? For the months. And for this one, we have to use 个, right? Because this as 年, as hour, 小时, all these time noun they need the measure word, but for 天 it doesn't need because it's both a time noun and the measure word. So 医生说要住1个月 the teacher side, somebody we don't know omit here, so have to leave 1 month. And then he said 现在 now, right? 熬了 不能. So 能 we have learned the word that means physically you can do something or can't, right? That means much more like a can. 出院 we have learned this word this lesson. That means leave the hospital, right? 出院 院 means 医院 at here. So doctor side, he or she have to leave the 1 month, and now she can't leave the hospital. So we check the picture, go back. So in the hospital, right? And seems he's sick and very seriously, right? So he have to this guy have to be hospitalized for quite a long time. So for this one is right? Correct. This first one correct. And second one, 我爸爸 so my father, mi padre, 每天 so every day, right? 每天早上 we have learned this word 早上 as so in Chinese this indicate a period of the daytime, and normally it's like personally I feel it's like from the 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. this period of the morning. So sometimes the translation could be early morning, like 早上, because we also have the word for in Chinese Mandarin. We also have the word for morning, that is 上午. 上午 that's already the first half of the daytime. 都要运动. So my dad every morning both need 都 right 都 exercise, right? 运动 do sports or exercise. Okay, we go back. So it's 爸爸 here. But exercise? No, right? So this is fourth, right? The second one is wrong, fourth. And the third one, sentence here is 张先生. So 先生 title for man, right? So Mr. Zhang 已经 this word indicates something already happened. So 已经 that means already. 给 that means to someone, right? Preposition word. 给大卫 David, name in Chinese. 打电话了 So 打电话 make the phone call, right? Le at the end of the sentence indicate this action have been done, and this is a new circumstances or something changed. So we have learned the word, we have heard the word 打电话, and that here telephone, and seems this guy is finished or is going to make a phone call. So this one is correct. And the fourth one, 他最近太累了。So he, okay, this one 最近 recently 最近太累了。太什么什么了？太 what 了？ This structure means the high degree of something, right? So 累 tired. He recently he's too tired, right? Too tired. 太累了。已经 we have know this word 已经 already, right? So 生病 sick, be sick, right? 生病了。And emphasize again. So for 已经 we know it's something already happened. So normally in this sentence, in the same sentence, there should include the word 了, because le is a mark of the past tense, right? So this guy, he's sick, right? So this one is correct. And the fifth one, 他每天12点睡觉. Okay, so she every day 12 o'clock at night, but they haven't said at night, but definitely that should be at night. So 12点睡觉 sleep, and pay attention to this word 睡觉 睡 means to sleep, and 觉 actually this is a noun, this is not a verb. So 睡觉 and this is the very very common structure of the separable verb. That means a verb with a noun and work as a phrase, but when we learn it, it seems like the one word, but actually it's two words, it's a phrase. So 睡觉 much more like to have a sleep. So we can insert the quantities, quantity phrases between these two, like 睡一个觉, 睡两个觉. Or we don't use 个, we use the time, and the measure word for action, we use 次. So 睡一次觉, 睡两次觉. Like if I say 我每天睡两次觉, so I every day sleep 两次. 两 is 二 for the oral speaking way, right? So 两次 two times 觉. So every day I have two times sleeping. So that's the word we have to pay attention to. So separable verbs. This is also a significant grammar point of the advanced level. Actually, it's the advanced level of the Chinese language. Okay, 早上9点起床. So morning 9 o'clock. Get up. So 起床. So 起 means to raise, to get. This is the verb. And 床 actually is bed, but we have learned this word bed. So get out of the bed or get up from the bed. So 起床, this word is also separable verbs. Okay, so 9点起床, and we go back here. So it's 9 o'clock, and seems she's just wake up. So the fifth correct. Okay, and the section part 2, listening section part 2. So listen to the conversation and choose a conversation which match the picture, right? So same way, check the picture first. So first one, a little girl, and seems she's with something ruler to measure how tall she is, right? So we have learned the word about the body height. So it's something about 高, right? 高 tall, like 高, right? 高 tall. So it's something about the body height. So we're going to listen to that. So you have to learn 她多高. So how tall she is, right? 多 like how 她多高. If we learn 她多高, 她1米, the measure word for the meter we have learned in lesson 2, that is 米, right? 米. And for the picture 2, for the picture B, so it seems this guy holds some medicine, right? Medicine. So we have learned the medicine in the lesson 2, that is 药. So catch this word 药. And then for the picture C, so this girl looks like a student, right? So student, we have learned 学生. 学生. So she's reading. So it's 读, right? To read. 读书 book. She's reading a book. And she's in the library. So we have learned the library. That is 图书馆. So if you heard she's reading in the library, 她在图书馆读书. That's the conversation which matched to this picture, right? And picture D. So this female, right? She's playing football. So playing football, play football. This is quite tricky because football we have it's easy. It's 足球, right? 足球. 足 is classical Chinese, means the foot, and 球 means ball, right? 足球. And for to play, actually in Chinese we say to kick the football. So it's 踢 足球. This is something we have learned in lesson 1, right? Lesson 1. So if we hear 踢足球, that's a conversation match the picture D. And for the picture E, seems she's uncomfortable, right? So we might think she's sick, she's illness, right? So 生病. If you heard the word in the conversation which include 生病, that conversation will match this picture. And picture F, okay, old man, right? So 老人, or obviously maybe grandfather, 爷爷, right? And she's exercising, right? So exercising, 所以是运动. Or we have another word that is to 锻炼. That is also for the exercise. And some culture background information. So for the Chinese people, normally we do the exercise at the early morning of the day. So if you match the conversation, we'll say, so 他喜欢, he likes 早上运动. He likes doing exercise during the morning. So this is cultural background information. This kind of information is quite important because if you just learn the language knowledge is not that useful because when we have to for HSK level, it's a language level test. It's going to test your comprehension ability of your language using. So some cultural knowledge, background knowledge, information is also necessary. So we're going to check the conversation one by one. So the first conversation, conversation 6. So the man said 男, right? The male. 你爸爸每天运动吗? So your dad every day do exercise? Mark off yes or no question, right? So the female answer, 对，他每天早上出去跑步. Okay, just it's quite small. Making it more larger. 对，他每天早上出去跑步. So correct. He every morning, every early morning. 出去, this means go out. Right? 出去, 跑步, running. Right? So also for this one, so 跑步, this is also a separable verb. So 跑 is to run, and 步 actually means steps. So we can insert how long you're running. Like we can say 跑1个小时步. So 1个小时, 1 hour, right? So 跑1个小时步, running 1 hour, right? 1 hour, have 1 hour running. So here we mentioned the 运动, exercise, and 早上, early morning, and it's 爸爸, so it's age. So picture F, right? And 7. So 你怎么了? So this is the widely used sentence. So 你怎么了? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? 怎么了? So normally we ask how are you? We like 你好吗? So it's are you good? Are you okay? Right? So, but we're going to ask 你怎么了? So le at the end of the sentence have the function to indicate that something changed, something new. So 你怎么了? What happened? Much more like what happened to you? So maybe you have appear some difference compared with before. So I asked, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? So makes you the situation now, right? The status now, right? So 你怎么了? And the female replied, 身体不好, 身体 body, right? 不好 not good. And she said 已经2天了 already 2 days. So maybe for the for the ladies, for the female, they have the period, right? So uncomfortable, right? So 生病了，身体不好。Picture E, right? She looks doesn't well, right? And 8, 难。明天下午你有时间吗？ So 下午 the day, afternoon. So 明天下午你有时间吗？ And pay attention to this word. So 时间 we have the time. 有时间 have time. That means do you free? Do you have the free time? 你有时间吗？ And later you will learn another word that is 时候 the moment. So these two words is quite difficult to differentiate because sometimes we say 有时候 有时候 sometimes, but when we say 有时候 is normally at the beginning of the sentence, like sometimes I feel not good. 有时候我觉得不好。But when we say 有时间 normally it's in the middle of the sentence or the end of the sentence. So spend some time to differentiate the character of 间 and 后 these two characters 时间 and 时候。我们去看电影吧。So 去 to go to 看电影看 to watch to look 电影 movie。吧 end of the sentence indicate this is a suggestion, right? And the female said 对不起 sorry 我要 so 要 at here maybe it's going to, right? Maybe it's necessary. It depends on the context, but it's not that necessary to differentiate that too clearly because sometimes you're going to do something because you need to do that thing, right? So 没有时间 doesn't have time. So 没有 negative form of 有 right? So 没有时间 Okay, so 看书 right? Reading. So C, right? Picture C. And the 9 女 the female asks 你的小女儿 we have their daughter, right? 小女儿 little daughter, the junior daughter 多高 how tall, right? So we have this word tall. And the man answer 1米多一点儿吧 Okay, this one is interesting one. We have to explain this one. So 1米 1 meter and 多 that means more. So 1 meter more what? 一点儿 a little bit. So this is quite important. So when we describe the quantity, we use 一点儿. But when you want to say a little bit for the degree, like I'm a little bit shy, so 我有点儿害羞或者说 I'm a little bit hungry, 我有点儿饿 So because at here we describe the quantity of the meter is measurement and something about measurement, so it's quantity, so we use 一点儿 But if you're going to describe the degree, you have to use 有点儿So pay attention to this one. This is the most widely how to say that misuse of these two words of the grammar point the foreign learners misused. So for 一点儿 and 有点儿 you have to repeat. Normally when giving a lecture to the student, I have to repeat it again and again. Even some students, they are ready for the high level. They've been they learn 2 years, 3 years. They still misuse these two. So at here, so body height, picture A, right? And 小女儿 little girl, a little daughter, right? So the number 10, 医生，我明天能出院吗？ So doctor, I tomorrow can or cannot, right? So 出院leave the hospital, and the man said 能。So yes, you can, right? 回家 so 回 go back 家 home casa so 回家 go back home 每天 every day 吃 is to eat 这个药 so this one medicine so 这个药 and so 个 is for the measure word and normally it's when we're going to use we have to use also the number, right? So the full sentence should be 这一个药 but sometimes if the number is 1 we could omit the number. We just say 这个 that means this one, right? This one. And so for the medicine, picture B, This is also the one left. So for this part, the important thing is to catch the keywords, like the first one, 女儿 daughter, and the 高 right tall, and B 药 right medicine, and C 看书 right read book, and D where is D? Oh, okay, D already been, it's an example, sorry. So E is uncomfortable, right? So 不好 not good. I always say 病 illness, be sick. And F 运动 right? Exercise. Okay, then we go to the part 3. So listen to the conversation, choose the correct answer. And so strategy for this part, same. Have a quick view of the choices here. So 11. So A 能 B 不能 C 不知道 能 we have learned this is can or cannot. That means physically you can do something, or objectively you being allowed to do something. You being allowed to do something, right? You can do something. So this must be a yes or no question. Like after a conversation, the question should be a yes or no question, right? They will say 你能吃饭吗？或者你能来上课吗？ So can you come to have the class? And maybe we'll say 能 or 不能, right? And say is 知道. 知道 means you know. So 不知道 I don't know, right? So it's much more like I don't know, but in short for oral speaking, we just say 不知道. And 12, so A 6点多 点 o'clock, so 6点 6 o'clock and more. And B 7点多 and say 10点多. So the question should be something about the time, right? So to ask a time, we'll ask, we have two ways. One is 什么时候什么时候时候 I just mentioned this word as moment. So what moment 什么时候 like when? This is much when you answer this question, that could be not the specific time. You could be give a period of time or more general answer, not that specific. But also there's a one way to ask the specific about which o'clock, like 几点几点 So 几 is a question word for number under 10, right? So 几点 and 点 is o'clock. So how what's the number of the clock? Like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, right? So maybe this two way. We don't know. We are going to check the conversation later. But important thing is when you we have checked these choices here, you know what we have pay attention to is in the conversation, the time now they mentioned, the time they mentioned. And 13, so A is 不累 累 is tired, right? I'm so tired after work. And 不累 I'm not tired, right? And the B is 很累 I'm very tired. And C is 累 quite interesting, right? So I don't know. Have your Chinese teacher mentioned actually in the Chinese language, especially in the sentence, we will not just say one adverb alone. That means you can't let the adverb, sorry, not an adverb, adject. You can't let the adject appear singly. So it's always should accompany with some other things like the adverb of degree, like here 很累, or negative form word like negative word 不累, right? But this kind of the 累 solely for the maybe just for the test, right? For the test. So it's something about tired, right? What can make us tired? Work, right? 工作 and other things. 运动, right? Exercise. So we have to pay attention the feeling of the guy in the conversation, right? He's tired or not, or very tired, right? So I'm not sure, but normally there should be a positive attitude. So maybe A. I'm not sure. So then 14, A 工作了 so already worked, right? 工作了 And B 在学习在 this word indicated some action in progress, right? Something is doing now. So he's learning. And 学习 we have learned the word is to learn, to study. And also could means if we say 在学习, maybe he's a student, right? Some status of the people, not just the action. And say at here 在找工作, so 找 to find, to seek, right? 找工作 to find a job, to seek job. So he's seeking job, right? He's looking for a job. So definitely this question 14 is asking about the situation of one guy. Does he work? Or does he a student? Or does he's looking for a job now? So it's a status of a person, not really about to learn something, to study. So we are going to check. So you have to pay attention in the dialogue which word they mentioned. 工作, 学习, or 找工作. So these two, A and C, quite tricky. So must pay attention. Okay, 15. So A 去医院了，医院 hospital 去 to go so go to hospital and already happened, right? I've been to a hospital. And B 病了 sick, right? And C 身体好多了 so 身体 body 好 and here is good. So 多 okay, it's quite tricky. This is a complement of degree. So 好多了 he's much more better now. He's good and good. How much good he is. So he's much good, more good. And le indicated change, right? So before he's not good, but now he's good. So it's 身体好多了，好多了, right? So if you are sick and some guys visit you, ask how are you? How are you feeling now? So you can say I'm better. So 好多了, right? 好多了。So something about thick, right? So pay attention to what they mentioned. So we're going to check the conversation one by one. So first one here. Okay, so first one. So 女 first the female said 你什么时候能出院? So 什么时候, right? As we have just mentioned, when, right? So 能 can, right? 出院 leave hospital. And the man replied 医生说 the doctor said 要 need, right? So 在 this is again, right? 在 And the important thing for 在 again, this is always something about the future or present tense. If you're going to see something happen again in the past, we use another word. So 要再住 3 days, 3天 so 3 days 看一看 so this is the duplicative of the verb. That means there are 3 ways of the duplicative of the verb. The first one is that means that we do something in a short time. We do that. We just have a try. The second is we have a try, and the third one is we do that leisurely, not that laborious. So at here, 看一看, that means to have a look. So 3 days is not a long time, right? So just to have a look. And the question is 男的明天能出院吗? So the man 明天 tomorrow 能出院吗? Can leave the hospital or not? Right. So depend on the conversation. According to the conversation, he have to leave 3 days more. So definitely not for tomorrow, right? So and here 11 不能, right? He can't. So here's the so again I have to say something about the so this kind of question. When I was a student, I always hate this kind of question because when we've been tested our English, we have it's not just the English test. Sometimes there will be some mathematics questions. So here is something about a mathematics, right? So you ask about tomorrow is 1 day more, and here said he have to leave 3 days for more. So you have to count how many days for tomorrow it passed. Okay, and the 12th one. Conversation here. The female said, 你每天早上几点起床? So you every day morning, which o'clock? So 几点, so specific time. So number of clock, 起床 get up. So he said 7点多. So this is just the word we need. And the time, right? But then this question play a trick. There's an exception, right? So 星期六, this is the Saturday, right? And 星期天, a Monday, 10点多, 10 o'clock 起床. So we have heard 2 times, specific time, 7点多, 7 o'clock and more, 10 o'clock and more. Then the important thing is the question. If the question asks 男的每天几点起床, that maybe we choose the 7点多, right? But at here they ask 男的星期六 Saturday 几点起床, so we have to choose 10点多, right? So sometimes the question is also very important things because if there are two times, you heard more than one detail things you seek for, then you should pay attention to the question. So the 13, 女，你一个人做饭累不累？ So 你一个人 So you one person, you're doing it by yourself without the help of others. So 一个人 this is must like the alone, right? Alone. So one person, like alone, right? 做饭 so to make, right? 做饭累不累 hard or not? So this is 微不微 verb 不 with with the verb again. That means you make a choice between that's the yes or not, yes or no, right? It's also a yes or no question. And the female replied 不累 not tired 我很喜欢做饭 So this is what I said. So normally the Chinese education always want to give always want to provide it for you a positive attitude. So the question is 女的做饭累不累 So at here 不累 right? She's not tired. And 14, 你女儿今年多大 How old is your daughter, right? So 多大 right? A le indicates a change, right? So maybe this lady meets a man's daughter several years before, right? But it's already several years past, right? So she asked. And the man replied, 今年23岁, right? This year 23. But this is not something we're going to we want to know, right? We want to know she's worked, she studied, she's looking for the job, right? So this is not important. So what the rest is the most significant things. The rest is 已经工作 so already worked. Most important sentence in this conversation. So 14 工作了. So 15, 我这几天身体不好 I these several days. So 几 we have learned this is a question word. At the first time when we first time we meet this word, this question word to ask the number of the under 10, right? But in a descriptive sentence, in a normal sentence, 几 also could instead of the number under 10. Normally, more than 2 and less than 10. So it's like the 3 to 9 or 2 to 9. So I these several days, much more like these several days, 身体不好 body is not good, not healthy. 吃了 eat it, 很多药 a lot of medicine. And the man said, 我和你 I with you 一起 together 去医院 go to hospital 看看 duplicative of the verb. That means do that, have a try, right? Or do that leisurely. Oh, it's not serious. We go to the hospital just to check, right? Bus suggestion, right? So the question is 女的怎么了 What happened? What's wrong with the lady? What happened to the lady? So at here 去医院了 So at here is still a suggestion, right? 我们一起去医院看看吧 Suggestion. It doesn't happen, right? And 病了身体不好 right? This is also this is also important way you're being tested. So maybe in the question they use the one word for a certain meaning, but for the choice you've been given or for the answers you have to choice. There's another word also represent also indicates that certain meaning. So same meaning, different word, different words. So pay attention to this. So 身体不好 could be 生病了 right? Sickness. So this is the 15. And then we go to the reading part. Reading part, first one, something about the time and something, so 时间 right? And wake up, right? 起床 And B, 跑步 right? 跑步 running. C, something about work, right? 工作 D, playing basketball, right? Playing basketball. So it's also playing basketball. But at here we play basketball with our hand. So we have to use 打篮球 So it's quite quite different from the English. In English, you say play football, play basketball, play tennis, but in the Chinese, we use the different verb to indicate this movement. We have to use the certain part of our body. And picture E, medicine, right? 药, and F, so seems he's uncomfortable, so 生病了 and 不舒服, right? So the one sentence by sentence. The first one, 麦克先生, so Mike, right? English name. 先生 Mr. 最 most, right? 不喜欢 unlike, dislike. 住院 so to live in hospital, right? To be hospitalized. So actually this is the foreign guy, right? So it's F, and also doctor here, so 医生, and he's unhappy. So 16 F. And 17, 爸爸每天工作很忙，星期六也不休息. So we have learned the word 工作. C, right? A lot of the work have to be done. And 18, 我每天下午和同学一起去跑步. So every afternoon, run together with the classmate. So running, 跑步. Picture B. And 19, 这是一个星期的药. This is a medicine. Which kind of medicine? So 1 week, 一个星期. So at here we say 星期, week, right? And for week we have to use the measure word 个. But for 天 we don't need that. So 每天早上吃, so you can say 每天 every day. If that's 每个星期 every week, we have to use 个. So medicine, picture E. 妈妈 so 20. 妈妈每天早上7点前起床. So 起床, get up. A, right? We don't know. It's not that clear. Before the 7 o'clock? Not sure. So 这里有个7点前. 前 means the before, right? In front. In front of the 7 o'clock. Before 7 o'clock. And then part 2. Choose the proper words to fill the blanks. So we check the words first. So first one, A, 出去, go outside, go out. And B, 美 every, right? After this word, there should be a measure word, right? And C, 忙 busy, right? Busy. B, 知道 know, right? Acknowledge. And E, 贵 expensive. So describe the price of something, right? And then 生病 being sick, have a sick. And also 生病 actually is also a separate verb. And 生 actually is you got something, and 病 is illness. And so we check the sentence one by one. 21, 我们什么个星期六都工作. So measure word is definitely the 每, right? 每个星期六 every Saturday. Okay, so 22, 对不起，我很没时间. So we have 很 here. So normally there should be the adject, right? So 没时间, don't have the time. That means you're busy, right? So C, 忙. And 23, 他不在家. He's not at home. 不在家, right? 在家 at home. 下午4点. So afternoon, 4 o'clock. 什么买东西了? So normally we go to some place and to shopping, right? So at here we have to use the go out, right? So 出去, because 在家 at home and 出去 this is the opposite, right? Contradiction. And then 24, 我的小猫不想吃东西了. So my little cat, small cat, 不想 don't want, doesn't want 吃东西. So have something, 东西 thing. 我觉得 I feel, I think. 他什么了 is what? So indicate the change. So normally you don't want to eat something and you have no energy to do something. Normally means you are uncomfortable, you are sick, right? So 生病. And 23, 我也不什么北京的天气. 天气 weather, the weather of Beijing. Normally is like you like or you don't know, right? So 你问问小李. So 问 to ask, duplicative of the verb means you're going to try to ask 小李 junior 李. 他是北京人, he's Beijingese. So at here the only one left is 知道, right? 知道. I don't know the weather about Beijing. So you try to ask 小李, he's Beijingese. And third part, decide whether the inference are true or false, so according to the sentence, right? So we have to check the sentence first. So first one, 26. 医生说 the doctor said 我要住2天院 So doctor said I need leave 2 days hospital. So that here we finally meet the superative verb, right? So 住院 I have mentioned this is a superative verb, live in the hospital. So we can insert a time period, how long this action continues, or how many times this action happened. And here we just indicate how long we live in the hospital. We insert here, right? So 住2天 I live 2 days in the hospital. So 明天能出院 tomorrow I can go out of the hospital. So the inference here is 我今天不能出院 definitely, right? He said 明天能 right? So today you can't, right? So this is wrong, right? And 23, 我的小猫生病 So my little cat being sick. 你知道 So do you know, right? 去哪个医院 So go to which hospital 好吗 So do you know to go to which hospital is good? This is a yes or no question. We have mentioned 哪个 this is like which, but at here is not ask 去哪个医院 It's like do you know, right? Do you know is better to go to it's good to go to which hospital? And this is actually a yes or no question, but it's not something about the question here. So the question is 我的小猫现在好多了 So my little cat now is better now, right? 好多了 better now. So it's sick, not better now, right? They haven't go to the hospital, so it's false. 28. 你星期天也要去学校吗 So you the Sunday also, right? 你也 also to go to the school. And the reply is 太忙了, right? Too busy, too busy. So at here, this is not a normal question. This is a rhetoric question. That is, oh, even the Sunday you go to the hospital. Even the Sunday you also go to the school. You also go to school even on Sunday. So 你星期天也去学校吗 And then he said, oh, it's quite busy. It's too busy, right? So this is actually not a question. This is a rhetoric question. And the answer, the inference here is 他星期天不休息 He Sunday no rest. Yeah, he go to school. He went to school. He's not rest, right? So this one is correct. So this one is quite tricky because at here you meet a rhetoric question. And the mark at here is 也去学校吗 You also go to school during the Sunday. So if we say 你星期天去学校吗 Do you go to the hospital? Do you go to school in Sunday? At Sunday, that would be a normal question. But here we use 也 and later he follow a sentence too busy, right? 太忙了 Then we know this is a rhetorical question. And then 29. 这个药每天中午吃 So this medicine every day, no time eat. 晚饭后不要吃 So after dinner, don't eat 对吧不要 that means don't do something, right? So also we can use 别 right? 别 is much more oral speaking. So 晚饭后别吃 Okay, so the inference is 每天晚饭后吃药 They say 晚饭后不要 So why you still want to eat that after dinner? It's false, right? So 30 is right. Sorry, 30. 我儿子不太高 My son 不太 not too tall, right? So he's tall, but not that tall, not too much tall. 他今年14岁 So this year he's 14 years old. 1米5几 So 1 meter and 50 several, right? Maybe 1米53 So 1 meter and 53. 1米54 1 meter and 54, right? So it's approximate number, right? And the inference is 他儿子今年10多岁了 So this is also a grammar point for approximate number. How to represent approximate number? So 10多 10 and more. 10 and more. That could be 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So at here he said, in the original sentence they said 他今年14岁了 He's 14, right? 14 is also 10 and more, right? So this one is correct. 30 correct. And last part, to match the sentence to make a dialogue is quite long, right? So check the choices here first. So the A， 他儿子今年8岁了。His son， right？ 儿子今年8岁了。This year, 10 years old. And B， 星期六也不休息。So Saturday also not rest. So 你工作累不累？ So you work tired or not? Definitely you should be tired. But Chinese test might is that they want you replying with a positive attitude, so maybe it's not hard. Who knows, right? And C， 我不喜欢早上运动。I don't like exercise in the early morning, right? 早上运动我喜欢下午。I like afternoon 和朋友一起踢足球。So afternoon play football together with friends, right? And D， 医生说他不能出院。Doctor said he can't leave the hospital. E， 他在哪儿 ？So 哪儿 ？Where？ right? So 在 at 他在哪儿呢 ？He at where？ right? So 哪儿呢？你看见他了吗 ？So 看见看 is to look, and 见 we have learned this word means to see. So 见 here is a result complement, means the action of 看 successfully being done. So that means you looking for something and you found it. That means 看见. If you 我看 that means I'm watch, but 我看见 that means I see, I found it. So 你看见他了吗 Have you seen him? Have you saw him? Did you saw him? Le past tense, right? Ma yes or no question. F 你每天什么时候睡觉 So when you sleep, right? When? So the choices E already been occupied, so we see the rest. So 31什么已经3天了为什么 So what already 3 days Why? So leave it here. The one left will match this sentence. 32我也不喜欢 I also don't like. 我早上没时间 So I also don't like. So 我早上 early morning 没时间 So here's 2 words 不喜欢 and he said 我也 I also. So that means the guy he talked with must already use 不喜欢 So we go back. Which one include 不喜欢 C. And also 早上 he said 早上 So 32 C. And 33是已经1米4几了 So yeah already 1 meter and 40. So body hat, body hat, body hat, no body hat. So think about that later, right? So 34没关系 So it doesn't matter. 星期天我有不少时间休息 So at here, so Sunday I have not less 不少时间休息 So I have not less time to rest. So something about 休息 So 休息休息休息休息 B 星期六也不休息你工作累不累 So 没关系 it doesn't matter 星期天我有不少时间休息 So positive attitude and also 休息 So 35 9点多爸 So 9 o'clock and more 很早 very early right? So 早 also could use as an adjective means early right? So 我早上起床也很早 So I also get up early So 9点多 and 起床 So 起床9点多So haven't been 9点多 So we go back So it's ask it's a time right to a question for time that should be 什么时候 right 什么时候 So 你每天什么时候睡觉 When you sleep 9点多吧 So 9 o'clock and more 很早 quite early right? So this matched right When the time right? They asked So 35 F And then we go back to the 33 So 是已经1米4了 So yeah already 1 meter and 4 and 14 So it's something about it's changed right So le indicates something changed Maybe it's for grow up right the little child grow up So it's already 1 meter and 4 So out here we could choose A right 他儿子今年8岁了 So his son this year 8 years old already 8 years 8 years old that's right He's already 1 meter and 30. That's matched, right? 33. A. And one left 31. 什么？已经3天了，为什么？ So what already straight is why. The one left is D. 医生说他不能出院。So we put these two sentences together and we will have a general view of the context for this conversation. So A said, 医生说他不能出院。Maybe my dad is sick, and I'll go back to the I go to the hospital to visit my dad and my mom's there and talked with my mom. My mom said, 他今天不能出院 and your dad still can't go out of leave the hospital. And I said, why? It's already 3 days. Why? So it's much more clear, right? So 31, D, match with D. Okay, that's it for the pronunciation part. I leave this for you to do that by yourself. Okay, I don't have the time to mention it again. It's already 1 hour. It's quite long. Okay, stop here. See you next time.